Jennian Homes have been proudly building the homes New Zealanders love for over 35 years and encouraging youth to achieve their hopes and dreams. Jennian Homes is proud to partner with the New Zealand Olympic Games team.
Tēnā koutou katoa, welcome into day 2 of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2021. It's another glorious day in Hawke's Bay, though it has taken a little bit to get to this point. She was a wee bit foggy this morning, and up until around about an hour ago, I can tell you right now, the shots you are seeing, we wouldn't have been able to see the other side of the track where they're getting ready for the under-20 pole vault, one of the many events which will comprise this second day of this slightly shortened. It wasn't initially going to be 3 days, but they had to move the event and it's been cut back to 2 days. And this is the second day of action. Of course, yesterday had some wonderful, wonderful results, including the equaling of the New Zealand 100 metres women's record by Zoe Hobbs. And, of course, an outstanding performance by Julia Radcliffe in winning the women's hammer. That's what you can expect today. You just saw the starting lineup for the women's under-20 pole vault. We've got the senior men's javelin, under-20 high jump. Some of those competitors you saw competing alongside Hamish Kerr yesterday. Senior men's triple jump, the para shot put, which will feature Lisa Adams as well. Just a little bit. Plus, we've got heats of the 200, 100-metre 110 hurdles, also underway, plus finals for the 400s as well. That gentleman you're seeing on your screen right now is Lucas Martin, and he is leading the under-20 10K race walk. And he is just one of 2 competitors at the moment, and the reason for that, well, unfortunately, Ryan Jones was unable to start this particular race, but Daniel Detroit, who we saw yesterday in the 3K event, has been disqualified. He has received warnings, either for lifting or the loss of contact, or also as well the technical aspect, which is making sure that the front leg must straighten when it is in contact with the ground. Well, he has incurred penalties. He actually went into the penalty box, went back out again, and then once again fell foul of the officialdom. So Daniel Detroit disqualified. So at the moment it is Lucas Martin on a bit of a time trial. That gentleman there you just saw was Sean Lake, and Sean, the only senior race competitor in this particular event. Earlier on this morning we saw Courtney Russ of Canterbury complete the double on the female side of things, having won the 3K yesterday. She took out the 10K this morning, and a very good effort as well, very consistent, walking pretty much on her own for the most part, in a similar vein to what we're seeing young Lucas Martin do at the moment. So he is, as I say, the under-20s leader at the moment, but he's actually a lap or so up on Sean Lake, the only senior competitor at the moment. As he works his way through another lap, he is just gone, or just coming up to the 5K mark. There you see the under-20 pole vault field featuring Lily Bing of Auckland, Paige Bauman of Canterbury, Aria Rhodes of Auckland, and Hannah Adi of Auckland. Now, Adea, I should say, of Auckland. Now, interesting that Aria picking up a silver medal yesterday in the senior women's pole vault. And as Lucas continues to work his way down, a little bit of a grimace there. It's actually been quite nice conditions for him. I think the race walkers would have preferred maybe what their female counterparts had, the little bit of fog, meaning that there was that little bit of moisture in the air on the skin, cooling them down, something that my co-commentator Hayden Sherman has already experienced this morning as he was going out for a run this morning around the inner city of Napier from his palatial lodgings that he has purchased for the last couple of days. Nice gallop this morning, was it, Hayden?
It was a nice gallop.
We'll just get something sorted there. We've just got a wee issue with Hayden's microphone. Just make sure that everything is all hunky-dory and then find out what the form was like with regards to. Just the wonderful team at the Stream Shop just coming through and sorting everything out for us there as you watch Sean Lake continue to work his way through as they are just doing their final warm-ups over at the pole vault. Also as well, we have got the high jump, which is going to be another feature, the under 20 men's high jumps, featuring the likes of Jaden Williamson. You also get to see Quinn Hartley as well as as Lucas comes through. And he's got 12 more laps to go, so he's just over half distance. And currently at the moment, been walking for just on 25 and a half minutes, so he's making good time as it stands at the minute. So in addition to that, we will get to see plenty of a good action in the field today as well, featuring Connor Bell. Now, Connor, of course, one of our leading discus exponent and getting very, very close to that New Zealand record set by Ian Winchester. And they are off and running, by the way, in the women's pole vault. As I say, we've had a great opportunity. It sounds as though we're getting a few things sorted there with regards to Hayden's headset. It'll be great to get Hayden's expert analysis. Of course, Hamish Meacham as well will be able to join us. There you go. We've got that off and rolling. Great work there by Daniel and the team from the Stream Shop who are providing the pictures and images that you are currently looking at the moment.
Yeah, great work by the Stream Shop getting me sorted. Some technical issues from my end, but I'm glad to join you. And like you say, beautiful scenes here in Hawke's Bay. The sun is shining now that we've got rid of that early morning fog, and you probably mentioned that we had to delay the javelin for a little bit and the hammer throw, which is, you can imagine, not ideal in thick fog where you can't see the other end of the track. So for safety reasons, that's been delayed, but I'm excited about this pole vault competition because it's really interesting. We've got the New Zealand Secondary Schools Junior Champion. We've got the current under-20s champion, the current under-18 champion, and there are 3 different women. So it'll be really interesting to see them go head-to-head in this under-20s competition. So Aria, Hannah, and what's her name, Bing, will be going, Lily Bing. I was about to say Portia, but of course that's her sister. And so it'll be very interesting to see how these 4 ladies go head-to-head all in the under-20s this weekend.
Well, that there is Aria Rhodes on your screen at the moment, and the bar is currently set at 2.97 meters and scheduled to go up in 20 centimetre increments. We saw Aria clear, I think it was 3:15 yesterday. She's up and over, and she's cleared that comfortably. Although the pole comes back down on it, so that is another miss. It'll be a frustrating one because she cleared very, very comfortably. So Lily Bing has cleared at 2.97 meters. And we've had, that's a second miss by Aria Rhodes. And then we've got our third competitor. It looks as though Paige Bowman, who was scheduled, is not taking part.
Yeah, we have. She's the one Cantab in the field, so we haven't seen a red singlet out there. But all these 3 girls have personal best sort of in the 350s. So Hannah with a best of 350, Lily Bing just 1 centimetre better at 351, and Aria Rhodes, the current under-20 champ, with that 3, and nice this time. Pushes that pole away, make sure it doesn't clatter onto the bar, and over she goes, gets her morning underway.
It's Hannah Adye, and up, over, and there you see the difference to what Aria did, just didn't push the pole away, came back and caused the foul jump, and so she clears, and now it's all on Aria Rhodes, who, got a silver medal in the senior women's yesterday. Now she's got a little bit of pressure. Lance rocks back and flicks the pole away, and the coach will go, that's what we want to see. The problem, though, obviously, Hayden, that Aria's got now, if it comes to a countback system, she does have those 2 misses on her record, so that'll be one thing she will be a bit disappointed with. So as it stands at the moment, Lily Bing, having cleared with her first attempt, leads. Hannah is in second spot, then Aria in third as we go back to Lucas Martin, who was having a really good race with Daniel Detroit. They were pretty much pacing each other through, but with Daniel getting DQ'd, and so now it's made for a bit of a lonely old Saturday morning stroll for Lucas, and he occasionally comes across Sean, who's working his way through, although it appears as though we may have also lost Sean Lake as well.
Yeah, this is sort of turned into a bit of a lonely 25 laps. When you're doing 25 of anything, you want some company. So he has 10 and a half laps to go now, and it looks like he is the only man left out on the track.
Yeah, I've just looked over to the right of our commentary position as you see Lily Bing on the runway for the pole vault, and see Sean having withdrawn from the race, just having a discussion with a member of Athletics New Zealand. Lily Bing up and over. That's a nice clearance as well.
Yeah, acres to spare above that one.
And that's
so she's looking good this morning.
Clearance at 3 metres 17. And so just seeing, it doesn't look as though Sean has any medical or physical problems there. He's looking very comfortable as he talks to someone from the New Zealand, Athletics New Zealand, I should say. So the track is all left for this gentleman here, Lucas Martin of Manawatu Wanganui. He just has to make sure he maintains form as we go to Aria Roads. She clears and flicks it back, and so she clears now at 3:17. As I say, though, Bing with 2 clearances, as opposed to Aria, who's had the 2 misses at the previous mark before clearing.
Yeah, so Lucas, he's 16 years of age, and just looking up his resume, and he's already got a whole handful of national junior titles to his name. So 3,000 metre track title from 2019 and from 2020, and then the 10,000 metres from last year as well, the under 20s. So last year he did 48.24, so it'll be good to keep an eye on how he tracks for that one. That's his personal best for the 10,000 metres, the 25 lapper.
So you just saw Hannah, I believe it's pronounced Adji, missing there at her first attempt at 3 metres 17. So Lily and Aria are over. Lily Bing and Aria Rhodes over. So there's time to sit through, or she can always pass if she wants to. This is Lucas Martin. As I say, this is a real challenge at the best of times. I think when Daniel was in and around him, that we could see them alternating. Daniel would take an advantage, would take a lead, and then you'd see them step back and they'd make a little bit of a change. And so now it's all up to him. So having the enormous mental challenge that is race walking, and it's one of those sports that when you just get to know the ins and outs of it, you've just got to have massive respect for what these athletes put themselves through. It's endurance, it's so technical, the concentration levels that you have to work within as well. So this is a big challenge for Sean as we head back to Hannah, who's getting ready for her second attempt at 3 metres 17.
Yeah, it is a huge challenge, and for those wondering how hard it is, just find a treadmill, and this young guy Lucas, he's going at about 12.2, 12.3 k an hour, so just try and keep a walk at that pace, and you'll find just how hard this boys aerobic system is having to work.
And it's not just keeping it, just going for the walk. You try just doing your normal stride pattern. Then start trying to add in the fact that you have to make sure that you are maintaining contact at all time, that when that front leg comes over, that's a good clearance. When that front leg comes over, it must straighten. The front leg that is in contact with the ground must straighten. So, it's to me, it's an event I got massive respect for when I was asked to get involved and commentate it for radio at the, that's a way to view it, I suppose, the Olympic Games of 2012, and just extraordinary. A really tough, challenging sport that I think a lot of people just look, they walk funny, that sort of thing. These are tough athletes, and this is a young gentleman who's got a real future in the sport if he wants to pursue it, because as Hayden has pointed out, very young, very good resume early on, And he's really walking very nicely in very trying conditions now. Just starting to heat up a little bit.
Well, to put it into perspective, some of the top male sort of 50K race walkers could head to some of the regional marathons around the country and win outright the marathon against all the runners. So that, you know, that's how quality they are. And as Lily just knocks that one down.
Well, I was fortunate enough to live in a part of Hamilton where Craig Barrett used to train on a Sunday morning. My goodness gracious me, you could hear him coming and whistling past, and they move at an absolute rate. They move at an absolute
while you're
rate.
out
Here
on
is
your
the,
run.
Yeah,
Rolls
precisely.
past, yeah.
Here is the senior women's javelin field. Jessica Senior, Brianna Tirado, Holly Robinson, and Lexi Maples. Brianna winning the under-20s yesterday, and
Yes.
Holly, we were watching Holly Robinson getting ready to go to work this morning. Foam roller under one arm, javelin in the other, striding out there like an absolute boss. So she's getting ready to work. And it's interesting too, they have actually changed which end of the Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park they are going to utilise for the javelin. As we see Aria Rhodes. First attempt at 3:17. 3 metres 37, sorry. So they've gone up in 20 centimetre progression. So from 297, 2 metres 97, it went up to 3:17. And then up now to 3:37.
Yeah, and this is getting within cooey of all of their best. So they're going to need to be right in their peak form for the season to be hitting these heights. As we see Lucas still going about his work. He's got 7.5 laps still to walk. And just needs to focus on keeping that technique in line. And I mean, as an endurance athlete, being able to focus on something like that technique in these dark periods of the race where it gets pretty tough, you feel pretty warm, pretty tired, but having something to focus on just every stride, making sure you hit it well. As you see those marshals up ahead of you, just in the back of your mind thinking, right, I need to stay on form. And then that can get you through those little tough patches. And then before you know it, it's 1K to go. And you're homeward bound.
So here comes Lucas Martin through. I'm informed the surname is actually pronounced Adai. Hannah Adai.
Aha.
So we will go with that. Did not have the opportunity to speak with Hannah to get clarification on that. But Hannah Adai is what we will refer to, and hopefully that is the correct pronunciation for this young lady who just has a little bit of a catch on the run up there. She's got time to be able to go back, gather her thoughts and go once again. So this will be her first attempt at 3 metres 37. You'll see just where that official is there on the white resin chair. Just in front of her there is that box on the tripod that is a clock counting down from 5 minutes.
Now this is an important jump for Hannah. If she Vault, sorry. If she can clear this one first attempt, that'll reverse the countback situation. So that'll immediately put her into the first place position and mean all the other two girls have to work to keep up with her. So this is quite a critical vault in terms of the standings in the competition.
There is Dame Valerie Adams, fresh from her 17th national title.
On holiday, into coaching mode now.
I was about to say, the coaching hat is on and she clears.
That's a big one.
That's
a big one.
Huge. And just like that, as Hayden Sherman points out, Hannah Adai moves into the lead.
So she had a miss at 297 and a miss at 317, getting it on the second attempts for both of those. But this time clear on her first attempt at 337, while Lily and Aria both missed on their first attempts. So despite Lily having a clean sheet up to this point, that will mean that Hannah is now in first position and she will have the benefit of controlling the competition from here, as we see Lucas just come up for 5 laps to go, and Porsche. Lily's over again.
Nice work by Lily Bing. So she gets the clearance. Hannah Adai with the clearance at 3:37 on her first attempt. That was the second for Lily.
Poor Lily, I'm sure that won't be the last time she's mistaken for her sister.
Let's have a look at this. Good speed, good solid plant. Nice up and over. You see the twisting. She gets up and over the top. Here comes Lucas Martin on his lonely Saturday morning stroll. Halfway down, he comes down the home straight for this next time. He will have 4 more circuits of the track remaining. So just under a K&a-half. As we go back now to Aria Rhodes.
Incidentally, he is walking really well. So he would have gone through 8K in a tick under 40 minutes. So he could well be on for a PB here, but it'll be close. His personal best is 48.24. So he will need to just stay as close as he can to those sort of 137, 138 laps in order to pick off that personal best.
Here we are. This is the javelin competition getting underway.
So, of course, no Tori Peters in this competition, which opens the door really for all the remaining ladies. We've got a whole host in the 50-metre sort of zone. Stephanie Rathall was third in this competition last year, and then obviously Brianna Tirado stepping back from the under-20s last year. And here we have the boys lining up ready for the high jump.
We already saw a few of these athletes performing yesterday, and Quinn Hartley and Jaden Williamson, Jean-Andre Pina out of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Jackson Rogers, Adam Stack, Tremaine Redmond Gardner, and the very talented para-athlete Nikau Pepe. Gives absolutely everything a go, that young man. Here is Lucas Martin continuing to work through readjustment there. We've got drink stations down the back as it is just starting to heat up a touch. Probably just starting to hit around that 20-degree mark. He's had really good race walking conditions, as did the ladies this morning. Actually, you could argue that probably Courtney Ruston winning the 10K women's had the better walking conditions with that little bit of fog just clearing up nicely. Breeze just starting to pick up a hair as well, as this is a must-make.
Yeah, for the reigning
Aria
champ.
Rhodes.
Here she goes, the reigning under-20 champ. She has to get this one, and she clips it. She will bow out of the competition in third place, take home the bronze, and leave Lily and Hannah to battle it out for the silver and gold.
That was Lexi Maples we saw just finishing off her throw on the javelin out of Canterbury. Lexi yesterday, third it was on the hammer throw.
Yes.
Guess I suppose a little bit forgotten. We should apologise there, but I mean the hammer throw really was yesterday all about Julia Radcliffe and
there were
Lauren
other
Bruce
athletes in the competition. So
and actually doing
apologies, Lexi.
Yeah, doing some good throws. So that was your bronze medalist and another very talented multi-event athlete, Lexi Maples. See our officials out again for the second day, final day of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships 2021. Was an event that was meant to take place a few weeks ago. There you go, 33:42. Unfortunately, with the lockdown enforced, the the postponement and rearrangement. As Liam heads around that top bend. Continuing to work very hard, good concentration. Obviously, he doesn't need to push anything, but the technique is excellent. Just grimacing a little bit.
So, of course, that is meant to read height. They're looking to do so. 3:57. This is in personal best territory for both these ladies.
So Lily will get the first attempt.
Aria has done this before, but of course she has bowed out of the competition. Her best was 3:57, and Lily on screen, her best was 3:51, which was the New Zealand Secondary Schools junior championship record. So she's the youngster in this competition.
So Lucas Martin.
Yeah, he's got just under a K to go now. So this will be the light at the end of the tunnel. Any endurance athlete knows how to hit a 1K rep. So this is where it starts to get that relief of I'm almost home.
Lily Bing, first attempts. Just clattering through there. And we're also underway as well in the high jump. This is the under-20s high jump.
Adam Stack opening up his campaign.
Action aplenty everywhere. This is what we like. It's Jessica Senior, the other Canterbury athlete in that senior women's javelin throw.
So the high jump set at 173 to open up for these under-20 boys.
This is Jackson Rogers out of Otago. He's done that quite comfortably to begin. So good clearance by Jackson.
And it's good for these jumpers to, they've been waiting for 3 weeks to get this underway. And for those who didn't compete yesterday, I'm sure they would love to just get out there, clear that early bar and get their campaign underway. So good to see those two nice and safe, clear at 173.
It was Stephanie Rathel, I think it was, with her first throw. Let's get back to the pole vault here. Hannah Adai, first attempt at 3:57 and decides we'll just do a roly-poly instead.
Yeah, so that means she's crossed the threshold under the bar, which means it's an attempt. So you get a certain amount of time where you can run back and give it another go if you don't feel that run-up was right. But because she crossed that threshold, she won't. That will count as an attempt.
So that is if she were to clear that mark, personal best for Hannah?
Yep, so it'll be personal best both for Hannah and Lily.
So I guess that you've got to take now into the psychological account as you're standing there and you're looking down the runway and you're looking at the bar. The bar is higher than you have ever cleared in your life. So there's that wee psychological aspect, and you hear quite a lot as we see Holly Robinson.
Yeah, back from her event yesterday in the para javelin, now competing in the senior women's.
So her first throw was 38.65. Here comes Lucas Martin. He's the only race walker left on the field.
He's going to get the bell.
He's coming down to get the bell.
A welcome sign. He's a great character, is Lucas, and he's been smiling / grimacing, sort of the Kipchoge smile that he uses to make sure he stays in a positive frame of mind. But he's going to come up and hopefully all things... you can see that good smile on his face, all things going well for this last 400 metres. He can come through for a clean victory in the under-20s.
Well, he's the only race walker left, the only man in the seniors. Sean Lake withdrew, and Daniel DeToit, who was right with Lucas Martin through around about the first 8 laps of this 10K race walk. Lily Bing. Another attempt again.
Like you say, when you step up to those heights that you haven't done before, it's not just that psychological, but also thinking about pole length, pole stiffness, where to put the uprights. All those little things come into play as you start to hit new heights. So it's not just a case of jump higher, vault higher. There's so many little elements. And it was interesting yesterday talking to Imogen Eris, and she was explaining. Well, I asked her, explain to us the technical aspects, how you work this thing out, and she said, I'm still working it out. I don't know. I just rely on my coach.
Well, here is Lucas Martin, and he has had to do it tough. As I was saying, Daniel DeToit getting disqualified for repeated infringements, and this has been a big old lonely walk for Lucas Martin, but he's done it well, and he's going to go very close to cutting out of time here, sub 50 minutes. Little grin on his face. Got to keep and maintain that form right through to the finish. He's quite happy, as you can see, and understandably so. Under-20 champion at the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2021.
49-42. from what I could see on the clock. So that's just outside of his best, but solo effort in the warming sun. Goes down, embraces the track, and rightly so. That's a phenomenal piece of endurance race walking this morning.
Back over.
And is that the second dive roll that we've seen?
Let's just go back and double check. I've got her at the moment with 2. With the 2 misses at the moment for Hannah Adai.
And was that Jessica Senior getting the javelin out to 45.40? So that puts her in the lead, with Brianna Tirado not yet having a mark on the board.
Brianna will get a chance to do that.
So we're in round 3 of the women's javelin now.
There's a little bit of conjecture down there. There we see the high jump. I've also got as well, just about to get underway too, the shot put. It's the
Here's Lily. Oh, takes
miss.
It down.
And there you see the women's senior para shot put. It will feature Lisa Adams,
world record holder. So when we talk about how we measure the para events, it's done by percentage of world record. Now, for the last couple of years, when we've seen Lisa compete, she's often in the hundreds of percentage, which means she's beating the world record. So keep an eye out for some fireworks from the shot put circle from her later this morning.
Yeah, Hannah Adai has chosen not to have her third and final attempt at 3 metres 57. She is the under-20s New Zealand champion. Lily Bing will take out the silver and Aria Rhodes the bronze. As we've got the senior men's pole vault final coming up later today. That'll feature Etienne Dupré, Nick Southgate, also some really good multi-eventers with the likes of Max Atwell, Josh Bull, Charlie Cameron, Jaron Neighbours, all of those from Canterbury. Got a really good multi-event program down there, as you would when you've got someone like Terry Lomax down there to be able to coach all those different facets of the event. So at the moment, it is Jessica Senior of Canterbury leading with that 45-40. There's the triple jump in action as well. Interesting here, Brianna Tirado, she's got a distance of 32.60, but that distance is under protest.
Yeah, and that's because it's round 3 and she didn't have a mark. She's got 2 X's to her name in round 1 and 2. So obviously to carry on, she needs a mark on the board. So trying to make sure that she stays in the competition.
Saw as well the field for the senior men's triple jump. It's another short or smallish field. So a lot of field events going on at the moment.
Yeah, beautiful clearance there from Andre Pina of Waikato Bay of Plenty.
And you see another Waikato Bay of Plenty athlete, 4:09. That is Lisa Adams, coached by 17-time national champion Dame Valerie Adams. She said she was looking forward to a little bit of a break yesterday, but she does have some work she has to do. This is Caitlin Dorr of Otago. And we'll be expecting Lisa, who it almost feels as though every time Lisa Adams hits the throwing circle, she increases her personal best. Of course, her personal best is the world record. Here we see the bar at the high jump is now up at 1.88 meters.
Yeah, and this is interesting with the high jump. Every athlete who's entered, we've had 4 so far, they've been clean over all the 3 heights that we've had so far. So no one's missed. So maybe it's one of those mornings that the high jump is hot and everyone's enjoying these conditions. So over to the triple jump.
This is Scott Thompson. First jump was 13 metres 58 centimetres. That's currently good enough for second spot. Andrew Allen of Canterbury with the best first round jump. That was 13 metres 85. Get a good look. Goes through the three movements. And there is Lisa's first throw. Go back. Uses the glide technique. Really punches that one out. Her personal best is 15.5 metres. As we have a look at an opening throw. 14s it looks like. And it is 14. Let's go back now to the javelin. And Brianna Tirado. So she is advanced through. Again, the clearathon continues over at the high jump. We haven't had a miss at all. Those officials, all they have to do is move the bar up every once in a while.
Maybe it's someone's glued it to the framing.
Oh no, they're getting over it. They're getting acres of space. There's no need for glue. That's just some beautiful high jumping.
I think you're right. It's beautiful conditions here. Out in the sun, it feels like a nice warm summer's morning. So these boys will be loving it.
Adam Stack with another clearance as well at 188. Nicholas Maratala out of the Waikato Bay of Plenty.
So Nicholas with a PB of 14.21 set earlier this season as we skip back to the para shot put.
Scott Thompson's jump, by the way, his second jump, 14.65. So Scott with the advantage at the moment in that particular event, just the three people. Sam McDonald, unfortunately, not taking part, a late withdrawal.
I mean, that's huge. Out of all of these boys, that's the season best for any of them. So laying it down right from the start. Scott Thompson in the senior men's triple jump.
Well, Andrew Allen had a good opening round, but that's one he's going to have to really fire back. Here's Lisa Adams again in the shot put circle. That one out. There again, looks around that sort of 14, late 14s, wander over and have a chat with coach. Let's get the measurement in place. Now it's all relayed across to our wonderful officials doing all the work. You see the coach, athlete, and there we finally see a miss at the high jump from Jeandre Pena.
So Val just instructing Lisa to keep her chest nice and open. So often it's the tendency to close off and use more of your arms rather than your whole torso to, oh, look at that from Quinn. Beautiful.
Comes in at 1.88 and makes it look very easy. The elegance of high jumping. Beautiful and great space behind that back, below the back, I should say. Plenty of room. Back over. This is Andrew Allen. Can he respond to that big jump of Scott Thompson? 14.65. Andrew in second with 13.85, and then Nicholas Maratala. Lisa Adams. That one again. It's in the 14-metre zone. And there was a javelin throw by Lexi Maples. At the moment it is Jessica Senior of Canterbury leading as they make their way through into the fourth round of throws. Jessica with a best throw of 45 metres, 40 centimetres.
So at the moment in this high jump competition, we've got Jermaine Redmond-Gardner over at 188. We've got Jackson Rogers over on his second attempt. Quinn Hartley went clear on his first and Adam Stack on his first, but Andre Pina has had 2 misses now at 188, so he'll have one more attempt to stay in that top 5.
You see the distance for Lexi Maples, 14.5 metres again for Lisa Adams. So she's about a metre shy of her personal best, which is also the world record. Here is Brianna Tirado in the javelin. And we've seen that the throwing under protest has been wiped from our screen, so I'm assuming that means that that protest has gone in her favour. She's able to continue, so that throw of 36.21 has got her in. And that is her next throw, and that one there is an effort near the 40-metre mark for Brianna. Here's the last opportunity for Andre Pina. Working through the mental aspects, combining with the physical. This is a big jump for him. Last attempt at 1.88 m. Still no Jaden Williamson yet. Suspect we will see him come in probably around 193, so that would be the next round of jumps. Here's Holly Robinson. Here is Pina. No. So Jandre drops out at 1.88 m. He had clearances at 178 and 183. Let's go back over to the man who really has laid down a marker. Although Andrew Allen did respond. That last jump we saw from Andrew was 14 metres 40. Scott Thompson with 14.65. Looks like another solid effort as well. So all 3 of our competitors improving from their first jump to their second. Scott Thompson going from 13.58 to 14.65. Actually, he's fouled that. Has Scott Thompson. Didn't see the red flag. My apologies for that. Andrew Allen went from 13.85 to 14.40. And Nicholas Malatala went from 13 metres 12 to 13.27. Cut back to Lisa Adams. That's a bit more like it.
Here we go. So remember, her world record is, 15.28? And that looks like it could be up around that 15-metre mark. It's always tricky to tell with the camera angles. Remember, we've got an arc to take into account there.
And how was that one, Coach? Working through. I wonder how the coaching aspect has helped Dame Valerie in her own career, as we see another miss there. It's interesting, a question. I would love to hear her thoughts with regards to that. Has it helped in her as an athlete? Maybe appreciate a little bit more what the coaches have been doing or doing for her. It'd be very interesting to hear that, as there's Nicholas Maratala, and of Argentinian extraction of memory serves.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it's one of those things with you really don't know something until you can teach someone else, and so it's you go to sort of a new depth of knowledge of sort of analysing technique and being able to explain what you're doing. And yeah, like you say, if you can articulate it, then you're better able to articulate it in your own mental self-talk. So here we go. Back with this high jump. Oh, taking it down now. So we're seeing a lot more misses after that nice clean start to the competition. Adam Stack taking it down for a second time at 193. Tremaine Redmond Gardner has also had a miss at that height, but Quinn Hartley looks like he has skipped. So he's going straight up to the higher heights, which is fair enough.
Here is Lisa Adams. Another good. It's a nice series of throws that Lisa is putting together.
It was a quick turnaround, really.
Well, just the three athletes. Here is Jackson Rogers. Oh, that's nice.
Very good.
That is really nice. He's quite chuffed with that. Metre 93. 14.85, that last throw by Lisa Adams. So just the three competitors. You see Caitlin Dorr there, just getting ready for her next attempt. Last throw by Shannon Murphy. Here is Jessica Senior, leading at the moment in the women's javelin. Andrew Allen currently in second spot in the men's long jump. That's the senior men's long jump. Just the three athletes. Sadly, no Sam McDonald competing.
Oh, well. Sticks it. Jaden Williamson buries his head in the mat, and I guess just says a prayer to the high jump gods to stick that bar onto the framing, and that's what it does. So he starts off his competition safely.
There is Lisa Adams, one final attempt. She will claim the national title. You kind of suspect that she will be like her sister and coach, just keep ticking off national titles every time she turns up. Real talented para-athlete. Yeah, she got one last big one. Gets it out. It's been a very consistent series of throws by Lisa Adams. She will claim the gold. She has just been improving so much over a very short period of time. Just waiting to see what that final mark is, but it will be gold for Lisa Adams.
There we go, 14.76, I believe it was.
Right, so that last jump we saw from Andrew Allen, by the way, he has improved. So he's now at 14 metres 58. So Scott Thompson leads, but he only leads by 7 centimetres with his 14.65. Nicholas Maratala of Waikato Bay of Plenty, 13.27 in the third spot. Great little battle between Scott Thompson and Andrew Allen in the senior men's triple jump. Adam Stack once again. It's a second miss for Adam. So in the javelin, this is the last throw for Holly Robinson. At a best of 40 metres 32. As we get to see some of the other athletes that'll be getting in action. We've got the 200 metres heats not too far away for the women.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see how Zoe comes back after the elation of equaling the New Zealand 100-metre record. But of course, Georgia Hull's the hometown hero, and she is the kind of the hot favourite for the 200 right now.
Wow. Sorry, Holly Robinson has just launched one. She's up into second in the senior women's javelin, 44 metres 26. Great throw by Holly Robinson.
Oh, beautiful clearance there.
And we're underway in the first heat. This is the under-20s.
Yeah, Taylor Brunger looks like she is leading this one out on the outside there in lane 5.
Inside, Brianna Irving. Then we go to Holly Rule inside of her. And then it's Hayley Bond. Top 3 in each heat advance, as well as the next 2 fastest non-qualifiers. So Taylor Brunger. She is advanced. So too Brianna Irving and Holly Rule.
25.22 for Taylor, and Holly Rule in 25.52, and Brianna Irving in 25.63. So we can round out the competition with the javelin as well. The senior women's javelin, the gold will go to Jessica Senior. And as you said, Nigel, in second place, Holly Robinson, and Brianna Tirado backing up her gold from yesterday with a bronze in this competition with a 43.57.
So here is Stack. This is his last attempt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's delivering.
We're having a great competition with this senior men's. It started off with everyone just hitting nice, clean jumps. And now, sort of middle of the competition, we had a few misses as the girls get their pole vault medals for the under-20s. But we're seeing some good clearances now with the bars at 193. So Jaden Williamson has a miss, according to my records. But Tremaine Gardner went clear on his third attempt. Jackson Rogers went clear on his first attempt. Now Adam Stack has gone clear. So 5 men, including Quinn, who's skipped at 193. So
yeah, I was a little confused because the bar was that at the height that we saw Jaden go over it. The bar appeared to stay on at the pitches that we saw, but it has come up as a miss.
Yeah, the bar is being raised, so
it could just be an error. It could just be a scoring error, that's all. There you go. The bar is up to 197. The other possibility is maybe Jaden has passed, having had the one attempt. But not sure. A little bit confusing. We'll get that sorted, though. What we can confirm, though, is the bar has been raised, as Hayden Sherman has alluded to 1 metre 97. 1 metre 97 centimetres.
And that's with 5 athletes still in this under-20s competition as we gear up for another heat of the under-20s 200 metres.
So that is Maya Broughton, who was in good form yesterday. Inside of her is Celia Ward. It looks like it's going to be Broughton and possibly Gina Marples who's going to lead them in, but it is Maya Broughton who has got a really good break here.
Emma Douglas on the outside looking nice and strong as well, closing off, ensuring she gets a straight entry into that final.
Another spot going to Jenna Maples of Manawatu Whanganui. Well, that was a nice run by Maya Broughton. 24.51 seconds. Emma Douglas 25.07 and Jenna Maples 25.45. That was a really nice run by Maya Broughton.
So Adam Stack, after Tremaine Redmond Gardner missed at 197 for his first attempt, Adam Stack, after that delight of clearing 193, he's got to come back and back it up, trying to hit 197. So his best this year is 190, so he's already ahead of his best for the year.
Also, just give you a very quick update from the triple jumpers there. You see the results of the women's javelin. Victory for Jessica Senior. Holly Robinson, though, as you'd expect on the big stage, when she needs one, she delivers 44.26. And Brianna Tirado, 43 metres 57. Now, I can tell you, unfortunately, we have had another retirement in the men's triple jump. Nicholas Maratala of Waikato Bay of Plenty. He will still claim the bronze, but he has retired after the first 3 series of jumps. So it's a straight shootout between Scott Thompson and Andrew Allen.
Jackson Rogers knocks it off on his first attempt at 197.
So Andrew Allen just trailing by 7 centimetres from Scott Thompson. So 14 metres 65 for Scott versus 14.58 for Andrew. Neither of them having improved on their round 2 jumps. It's Flynn Johnston on your screen there, just getting ready for his heat of the men's under 20 200 metres. He'll be racing against Troy Middleton, Max Brebner, Ethan Calder-Cass and Dominic Overend. There's a lovely clearance there by Quinn Hartley.
Yeah, this under 20s high jump, is really heating up. We started with 6 athletes. We lost one with Andre Pina bowing out at 188 with a 183 on the bar, but already we've got PBs coming out left, right and centre. So Jackson Rogers coming into this competition, his personal best was 188. He's added 5 centimetres to that already this morning and going for 197. So we're going to see some good competition. We saw Jaden Williamson and Quinn Hartley have a great battle at the New Zealand secondary schools last December, and both of them coming away with personal best. 211 for Jaden on that occasion, 207 for Quinn Hartley.
So this is our next heat, as we see Williamson again lose a bit of poise. This is our next heat in the 200 metres under 20s. Middleton in 3, Brebner 4, Caldercas 5, Johnson 6, Over in 7. Good start, look for Ethan Caldercas. Nice bend being run on the inside of him, though, by Max Brebner. No Troy Middleton, sadly. Great work on the outside by Dominic Overin, and he's leading them down quite merrily. This is a lovely display. Going to be a real battle to who gets those other 2 automatic spots. It looks like it's going to be Brebner and Caldercas. Lovely run, Dominic Overin.
Yeah, he looked good. So, junior record holder in the 100 metres, and we haven't seen much of him for the last couple of years, so good to see him back healthy and looking very good in the 200 metres. He is going to be one to look for. 22.23, that's a good solid time as well. Good conditions for athletics this morning. You've got to say you'd be loving to be out there. Just a light breeze from the northeast, which will be blowing these 200 metre athletes down the home straight. And Jaden Williamson, is it Jaden Williamson? No, Tremaine knocking this one over.
He's got 2 more series of jumps, by the way, coming up in the triple jump for the senior men. Senior women's triple jump final. That's going to be an event. That's going to be very impressive. Great field there with Alessandra McDonald involved. Lara Hockley, who's had a good day already, having claimed the under-20s. Elena Dennison. Shannon Wensley. And the veteran. Can't forget Sarah Cowley-Ross. She'll be in it to win it. She always is. So here is Adam Stack again, trying to get himself fired up as he looks to clear 1.97 meters.
So 4 of these gentlemen have missed so far at this height, but Quinn Hartley from Southland has gone clear, so that puts him in the lead for the competition. And this is a very important jump for Adam to stay in it. He had 2 misses at 193. Oh, he had the height there.
It was a very good effort.
Good attempt.
He'll get one more shot at it. I'm going to say that was an improvement on the first effort at that particular mark as Jackson Rogers prepares for his second attempt at 1.97 meters. Heading to their starting blocks in the second of our under 20 200 metres heats. This will feature Ethan Wallace in lane number 2. Kane De Vries of Taranaki in lane 3, Matthew Roger of Wellington in 4, John Wells of Canterbury in 5, and Tommy Tapuni of Auckland in lane number 6.
So Tommy Tapuni with a 21.42 best this season. That puts him number 3 in the country outright, seniors and juniors. So keep an eye out for that boy in blue on the outside.
Made a very good start, but a really good start as well by Ethan Wallace on the inside here in lane number 2. Tapuni now starting to get about his work, and he will lead them into the home straight. And now he's got a good little break, Tommy Tapuni. Up on the toes. Battle again will be for those second and third automatic spots, but a nice run, Tommy Tapuni.
He's a beautiful 200-metre runner when he gets up to speed, gets those big strides going, and use that nice little tailwind to blow him home safely through to the final later this afternoon.
Wells and Roger claiming the second automatic spot, so Ethan Wallace and Kane De Vries will have to hope to try and get through as 2 of the fastest non-automatic qualifiers. 21.6 for Tommy Tapuni.
Wow.
The New Zealand record, by the way, in that age group, Edward Osai Nketiah, 20.76. Nice clearance that time by Jaden Williamson.
Back into his work after a silver medal yesterday, jumping 2:02. Obviously, a little bit of tiredness in the legs from that good competition, and so he will be happy to be back into the twos, clearing 197. I imagine they'll go up another 4 centimetres after this one.
See some of our senior women's athletes getting set for the first heat of the 200 metres. That's Lucy Sheet of Tasman and Helena Dennison of Canterbury. Just getting the starting blocks all set out. We'll see Helena later on with the triple jump, part of that really strong field. And this will be a very interesting event. It is the event, as you've already heard Hayden point out, that Zoe Hobbs has been bettered in. Georgia Hulls will really back herself and at her home track as well. This is a very strong field.
Yeah, so back at the Porritt Classic, we had Georgia just pipping Zoe at the post, beating her by a tenth of a second. But then at the ITM down in Christchurch, Georgia won ahead of Rosie Elliott, and then Natasha Edie in third, and Zoe slipped back in that one to fourth place. So Zoe's definitely been putting her eggs in the basket of the 100 metres this season, which is totally understandable. That national record has been a big priority for her, so good to see her tick that one.
How different, though, as well, the fact that we were talking there with those ones, we're talking about one-day events. This is 2 days events. She's had the opportunity to go, rest up, do a recovery, get on the foam roller, do what she needs to do, get a rub down, coming back the next day. A significant impact in terms of when you make those comparisons?
You'd think so, and especially if you've been focused on the 100. Obviously more about speed and power, getting out of blocks nice and fast, rather than that speed endurance. So I would say she's backed off the speed endurance a little bit to focus on the 100.
Last opportunity for Andrew Allen to try and get past Scott Thompson. He needs to be 14.66. Scott Thompson leading with 14.65. He's looking at it.
Adam Stack here. Oh, that was another good attempt. Is that his final attempt? He is out of the competition, so his best of 193. You have to see if he can. I think that would put him in fourth place, potentially fifth, because Tremaine has missed as well at 197. So fourth or fifth for Adam Stack.
Great attempt by Andrew Allen on his last attempt, but he has just come up 11 centimetres short. Scott Thompson will win the senior men's triple jump with a jump of 14.65. Andrew Allen 14.55 with his last attempt. Just coming up. Great effort. Some very good triple jumping this morning with Scott and Andrew both on the 14 metres. Unfortunately lost Nicholas Malatala. He will take the bronze medal. You see Zoe Hobbs, a lady who yesterday equalled Michelle Seymour's 100 metres record.
And that was the final attempt for Jackson Rogers at 197. So I believe that will put him in third place, having a clean clearance at 193 first attempt. So Jackson Rogers goes out. The bar is at 201. And now we've got the big boys, Jaden Williamson, Quinn Hartley. They know each other very well. This old battle that's been going all summer long. We saw it in December in Tauranga at the New Zealand Secondary School Champs. Jaden was the victor there. Jaden also won better than Quinn yesterday in the senior men's. But I'm sure Quinn would want to bounce back. Quinn's got the clean slate at the moment, so Quinn has the upper hand. What a cool competition. This promises to be this under-20s high jump.
Here is Scott Thompson. He is the national champion. Great jump of 15.65.
So he'll be happy to reverse last year's national champs where he took home the bronze and Andrew Allen took the gold. He'll be doing his victory lap, clapped on by the New Zealand co-record holder in the 100 metres.
Well, that's another good finish by Scott Thompson. Yeah, he's well pumped up.
and we heard that over our effects mic, and so he should let out a good yelp because that's a national title. He'll be very happy as he packs his bags and heads home from the weekend.
I say it was an excellent finish. They said a second round jump of 14.65 has been the mark that Andrew Allen has been unable to reach despite his best efforts. He's finished with a jump of 14.5, so that's great triple jumping by Scott Thompson and Andrew Allen. Scott Thompson wins gold. He is the national champion for 2021. Andrew Allen takes silver. Nicholas Maratala will take the bronze. Oh, great clearance by Williamson.
Oh, now the competition turns on its head. So Williamson takes the upper hand with that clearance at 2:01. Remember, he went clear at 2:02 yesterday. So he might be thinking today's a better day to do high jumping. There's very little wind, warm sunshine coming down.
It's confirmation of those senior men's triple jump results. Scott Thompson, your national champion, from Andrew Allen and Nicholas Maratala. Here is our first heat of the 200 metres senior women's. Lena Dennis looking very loose and relaxed, it's fair to say.
Yeah, all these girls looking nice and relaxed. They're sort of like, well, this is the last day of the season for them. And they're kind of like, let's party. Okay, Quinn, over he goes. All right, game on in this high jump competition. Clear at 2:01. These two men will battle it out.
A little bit of a change with regards to this particular heat. See the insertion of Brianna Stevenson. She is in lane number 3. So it's Anna Percy of Canterbury in lane number 2. Brianna Stevenson of Auckland in lane number 3. Lucy Sheet of Tasman in lane 4. Lena Dennison of Canterbury will be in lane 5. And Georgia Whiteman of North Harbour, she will be in lane number 6. Just having a nice little conversation there, Georgia and Helena.
So Brianna doubling back after her long jump silver medal behind Mariah Ridinui. That was a great competition yesterday in the long jump. Just 3 centimetres separating those two.
See them as we cut across. That's Lucy Sheet out of Tasman. There's Helena Dennison, Canterbury. And Georgia Whiteman of North Harbour just waiting for confirmation. Here is the senior women's javelin throw medal ceremony. Brianna Tirado, Holly Robinson was just stepping onto the second podium as our athletes step forward. There's Holly. Great throw, delivered 44 when she needed to, and she's senior. Claiming the title. Now back over to that start of the 200 metres. This is the first heat. So once again, top 3 in each heat will advance, plus the next 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Percy, Stevenson, Sheet, Dennison, Whiteman. There's the podium. Back we go to Hartley. Ooh. So we are into the...
So 2:05 on the bar at the high jump. So we skip back to heat number 1 for the senior women's 200.
Nice even start. Dennison actually showing out quite nicely. Here comes Stevenson on the inside. Percy, though, she's up and she's rolling nicely. But it looks like it'll be Stevenson and Percy that'll lead them into that final 100 metres. Nice and even. Remember, though, it's the top 3. They don't have to push it too much. And they're broken away nicely. Percy, Stevenson and Sheet, they will canter on through. Dennison will come through in 4th, and she and Whiteman will have to hope to be one of the 2 fastest non-qualifiers.
Tell you what, keep an eye out for Anna Percy. She's been having a great weekend in the 100-metre relays yesterday. She looked really strong in her leg as well. So she will be one to watch in the final later today.
24.10, 24.10 for Anna Percy. Brianna Stevenson, 24.41.
By 0.3 of a second for Anna Percy. As we see Jaden come up to the bar at 2:05. That was very close. He just took that down with the back of his leg.
There is Zoe Hobbs, new co-100-metre record holder. In the starting blocks, getting a practice in.
It'll be really interesting to see now that that weight is off her shoulders of claiming that New Zealand record. It's sort of just been the shadow over her back the whole of the season. Now she's ticked that box. I really wonder if she just gets out there and has a lot of fun with this 200 now. Quinn taking the bar down for the second time. It's his attempt on 205.
Well, just the 4 competitors in the second heat, actually, Hayden, as we've had a few withdrawals. So we'll see Zoe Hobbs running in 2. Brooke Summerfield will go out of 3. Georgia Hulls initially was going to be running in lane 7. She's been moved into lane 5. And Danielle Gelderman of Otago will run in lane number 6.
So keep an eye out for Brooke. She's a sub-24 second runner at her best. Last year she set her personal best of 23.91.
Just thinking, though, top 3 is all you need. And I'm sure Zoe and Brooke and Georgia would be thinking, okay, look, if we do things right, we don't need to push ourselves too much. And you just wonder how much that extra energy could come into play when we hit the finals later on this afternoon. So glad that you're with us on Sky Sport Next. This is our ongoing coverage, the final day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships for 2021, coming to you from Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park. It's another glorious day. There was a bit of fog to begin, but that is cleared, and it's just absolutely delightful. A gentle breeze, nothing too significant. I see on your screen Jaden Williamson
for athletics this morning. I'm sure these high jumpers were glad to see that sun poke out through the mist this morning. So he'll be doing his second attempt at 205. Of course, his best is 211, so he's still a couple of ticks beneath his best, but I want to say this will be his best this year if he clears it.
The thing to remember is that Jaden Williamson, even though he's jumping the same height, he is in second spot on the basis that he did have that misclearance. So here we go, we're underway. This is the heat, and you can see Zoe Hobbs getting about her work. On the outside there, that is Georgia Hulls, and they know they can just canter. That's exactly what they're doing. Likewise, Brooke Summerfield, they're very comfortable. They can ease down, conserve a little bit of energy. That top 3, Hobbs, Hulls and Summerfield, they are through. Gelderman will be hoping that maybe she's one of the 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers.
Oh, once again, just landing on his head on the mat. That's his second attempt. He'll have one more go at that. So this, earlier today, just confirmation, he did equal his best this year with that 201. Well, he got 202 yesterday, didn't he? So he's definitely...
Well, he's got one more attempt. And on the countback system as it stands at the moment, it would be Jaden Williamson, who has had a miss at 197, 2 misses at 205. Quinn Hartley had a miss at 201. So the countback...
Yeah, that'll put the ball in the court of Jaden Williamson, with going clear at 201 nice and cleanly. And so this man has to hit this. This is his last attempt. 205. Takes it down. That'll hand the competition to Jaden. It was a good attempt. And that'll be the end of his weekend. He'll go home with the silver medal. And we'll wait and see what Jaden does.
You see them. Good sportsmanship. Let's see if Jaden kicks on. Maybe a little bit of weight off those shoulders. So he heads back to the top of his mark to have a crack at 205. As a wee just stands up. That wonderful build.
So still to come in the field, of course, is the men's discus, and Connor Bell is the big one to watch at the Potts Classic here in January. He threw the New Zealand resident record with the senior implement. So he's a young thrower who is definitely a name to write down for the future. So he'll be kicking off at 11:30.
Well, he's getting so close to that mark of Ian Winchester. We've spoken a little bit about, I guess, the pursuit of the likes of what Zoe was trying to do and track down Michelle Seymour. Connor's another one who's really got that bit between the teeth. Oh, that was a really good attempt.
Just the feet. He needed to flick those feet up and he would have been over. But there we go. There's your champion in the under-20s men's high jump competition. Look at this. He's got a beautiful technique. Great hops on him. Maybe just clipped it with his back as well as he went over. But successful weekend, a gold and a silver for Jaden Williamson.
As the debrief starts and the coach doing exactly what you were saying there. So there is your under-20 men's high jump champion. We're going to take a short break here, but continue here on Sky Sport Next very shortly as our coverage of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships final day continues.
Jennian Homes have been proudly building the homes New Zealanders love for over 35 years and encouraging youth to achieve their hopes and dreams. Jennian Homes is proud to partner with the New Zealand Olympic Games team.
Aon has been helping Kiwis strive for sporting success for over 20 years. As New Zealand's leading insurance broker, we can also support you when it comes to your insurance. Expert advice and local service. Talk to your local Aon insurance broker today.
We know a country where the food offering spans from pick your own to picking it up from a roadside stall or farmer's market, to taking your pick from restaurant menus that are as good as anywhere in the world. And so is the wine. But this country is not too far away at all. And yes, you are very, very welcome to travel here. This country is food and wine country. But you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.
Well, you see the glorious day that Hawke's Bay has delivered for the final day of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championship. So, having seen the female sprinters, time for the gentlemen to get about their work. There'll be 2 heats to try and qualify for the final. Must be top 3. If you don't make the top 3 in your heat, you need to be one of the 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. This will be like the 100s yesterday. That'll be very open. There's confirmation of that under-20 men's high jump result. Jaden Williamson having had the first up clearance at 2:01. Quinn Hartley having missed and then cleared at 2:01. The countback system works in favour of Jaden. Great competition. Everyone really came out with some really good hops this morning. So there we are. We see the sprinters getting ready. There'll be 2 heats. So Jake Paul, Elliot Nye, Jonathan Maples and Bailey Cotton in the first heat. Second heat, George Kozlov, Saravi Sos, Shula Orr, Brad Grobby and Cody Wilson. Like the 100 metres yesterday, won by Shea Veach. It's a real open affair when you look at all of the athletes that unfortunately have either had to withdraw or chosen not to come to these particular events. Also, we're starting to get some warm-up throws being done, as we say, in the discus circle. And that will feature, as we say, Connor Bell, who really has been putting in some big throws.
And Alexander Parkinson, who's the reigning national champion, he's not too far behind. He's only sort of 3 or 4 metres behind Connor Bell. So he'll want to make sure the youngster is kept honest, and so expect a good competition from those 2 boys. And it's good having Alexander being able to push Connor and have some real competition out there. So.
Well, we've seen the benefit, haven't we? We've seen that just in the women's hammer with what Lauren Bruce has been able to do and what it is now drawing out of her and Julia Ratcliffe. If you are just tuning in for day 2 of the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championship, maybe didn't see what happened yesterday, an extraordinary women's hammer throw senior competition with Julia Radcliffe with her first throw in a cage where the last time she was here, she didn't get one out of the cage. She had 3 fouls and was out of the competition, didn't advance to the final 3 throws. Her first throw was an automatic qualifier for the Olympic Games. She threw 73 metres 40.
Epic.
She then, later on, followed that up by breaking Lauren Bruce's New Zealand record with a throw of 73 metres 55. And in amongst all of this, Lauren Bruce had her own rebattle. She had 2 foul throws. She needed to get a throw in to advance to the third throw to earn another 3 throws, and she just bombed out 71 metres. It's not like she was throwing poorly, but my goodness gracious me, just a really great competition yesterday. Saw some very good performances. Tom Walsh winning another national title, and interesting, I was lucky enough to speak to Tom after his competition, saying it's the best he has felt in the throwing circle for 2 years.
Wow.
He said on the 4 throws that were legal, all of them over the 21 metre mark, he said it's the best he felt. He said what he needs is the adrenaline rush of being up against the big guns. So he is going to be heading over to Europe around about May. They've got a program in place. But yes, very interesting. Just he says everything flows.
Yeah.
When he's at that point, and he said everything was flowing yesterday. He said now he needs the adrenaline click of having the competition in and around him as well. So
it's interesting that distance that he threw yesterday was actually the championship record as well. So that's the furthest he's ever thrown at the national champs, which is good signs, because typically we see, like you say, when he gets into that competition with the Northern Hemisphere boys, he rises to the occasion and will add, another half metre or a metre to what he's doing domestically.
So here is our first heat in the senior men's 200. Jake Paul in lane 3, Elliot Nye of Canterbury in 4, Jonathan Maples, Manawatu Wanganui is in 5, and Bailey Cotton, Wakarobeya Plenty in the outside lane number 7. Reasonably even as they lead through. No, it's actually Nye starting to show out. Nye picked up the bronze medal yesterday in the 100 metres.
Blanket finish here for second and third.
It's going to be the man from Manawatu Wanganui. I think that's going to need to rely on being one of the fastest non-qualifiers.
Yeah,
the time should help him, though.
It looked like Bailey Cotton just almost eased up right at the line and maybe just let Jonathan Maples through. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll have to have a good look at these times. So you can see here, you got to run through the line. It's the age-old lesson that every coach teaches every junior.
So Maples with a 22.65, so he'll have to rely on being one of the fastest non-qualifiers, but we've got Elliot Nye with a 22.31, Jake Paul with a 22.51, and Bailey Cotton 22.53. As we see the very dapper Saravi Sos of Wellington, golden hair, shades on. So he is going to be running out of lane number 3, and again, top 3 qualifiers go through. In the two fastest non-qualifiers. Got George Kozlov in Auckland down in lane number 2. Sarafi Sos of Wellington in lane 3. Sean Orr of Otago in 4. Brad Grobby of Canterbury in 5. And Cody Wilson to slot into lane number 6.
So Cody, the silver medalist from yesterday, taking home the silver in the 100. He was definitely one of the favourites yesterday. Pushed Shea Veach all the way to the line. And what would have been a personal best for Cody, I believe, if it wasn't for that strong tailwind that they had. Some good fast times from those boys.
You can see a smattering there. So a couple of Wellingtonians, an Aucklander, an Otago, and a Cantab. Elliot Nyes, who won that last heat, by the way, you're talking about, again, benefiting. Must be great for the confidence of these athletes. And yeah, some people will turn around and go, wow, look, he wasn't here and he wasn't there and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But still, at the end of it, when you look in the record books, it's going to be their name with a medal. It must be such a boost to a young athlete to get that medal around their neck.
And I tell you, the times that they ran were genuinely what you'd expect from a New Zealand 100-metre time. So 10.34 for Shea, Cody 10.42, and sure they had a good strong tailwind. But even when you account for that, they're really good times. So they really raise to the occasion.
And it highlights, again, something that you and I have discussed over the course of the last couple of years now, just this depth that we're getting in the New Zealand sprint program, be it male or female. It's really deep.
Yeah. There's guys and girls ready to step into the spaces if anyone gets injured or doesn't turn up for whatever reason. So really cool to see. And to be honest, one of the big highlights for me was to see Shay Veach do that magical double of the long jump and then a couple of hours later win a national title in the 100 metres. Prove he's the fastest Kiwi sprinter certainly available to run right now. And so well done, Shay Veach, for just a magical day yesterday.
And if you are tuning in again, you're wondering, well, where was Edward Osai-Nketia? Where was Tian Velpton? Where was Joseph Miller? Edward has gone to be with family. He's been away from his family for a very long time, so he's gone back to Australia where they reside, so to spend some time with them, and that's completely understandable. Tian with a little bit of an injury. Joe, we think, as well, was an injury too. So there were a lot of, I guess, some of the leading lights that have not been able to attend for a variety of reasons, but then we haven't lost the quality.
Yeah, and you look at the likes of Tommy Tapuni, who was booked into the under-20, so he couldn't change it when it got through to when we changed the dates. So, you know, if he could have rewritten things, maybe he would have gone for the senior title.
So there you see on the screen George Kozlov and the familiar blue of Auckland, and we've already highlighted Saravi Sos of Wellington. Shula Orr of Otago will be outside of him in lane number 4. You see him in terms of his opposition, positively diminutive next to the tall, lanky figure of Brad Grobby, but don't let that deceive you. Jala can move. So this is the medal ceremony for the men's triple jump. Nicholas Maratala. Nicholas having to retire after the first 3 rounds of jumps. Unable to continue, but the 2 men behind him, they put on a wonderful show. Andrew Allen of Canterbury, really pushing hard, put a great effort in. He needed 14.66 to try and get past the 14.65 of Scott Thompson. He gave it a good shot, only came up 10 centimetres short. There is your national champion of 2021, Scott Thompson. Very impressive. And both he and the gentleman on his right, Andrew Allen, put on a lovely display of triple jumping for the crowd that's assembled over on the far embankment. And we see our athletes for the second heat of the senior men's 200 metres. It's being held for the moment. And now looks like they are in the starters' hands. Nice photo. Nicholas Maratala. Bit of Latin American exuberance. So, Kozlov is in lane 2, inside lane. Then Sos in 3, Orr 4, Grobby 5, Wilson 6.
So Cody Wilson with a personal best of 21. Expect him to go out nice and hard on the outside wearing the yellow of Wellington.
It does look like he's got a really good bend that he's run, and he is well in front, leading them down. Now he can canter and control. Sos coming through in second, Kozlov in third. That's where the battle's going to be. Wilson eases, Sos eases. Oh, and Orr, a little bit of an issue there. Hopefully, Shula, that didn't look good at all, and he's just short of the finish line. So it's going to be Wilson, Sos and Kozlov through. Wilson going back. Now, I don't want to touch. If he gets up and can complete, he's done some real damage here.
Oh, yeah, there we go in the replay.
Yeah.
Nasty. But looking great was Cody Wilson on the outside, just jogging through. He backed off at about 140 metres into it and just lowered the arm carriage and just went into about third gear. So hopefully Shula's okay.
Yeah, you see them all just coming over and just checking. It looked like he blew something quite bad.
Yeah,
grabbing the hamstring. I think he's blowing that deluxe by the way he went down. That's not just a little strain or something. That looks very serious. And we see Saravi Sos helping him off as well.
Shame to end the season like that. We saw Tian Welpton, who I'm sure will be watching this at home. So hi there, Tian. Go down very similarly in the 100-metre final at the Sir Graham Douglas meet in Auckland 4 weeks ago.
Just trying to get some medical help to shore
a
up.
bit of pain, actually.
Yeah, that is tough. So Wilson wins it in time of 2:22. Can't even put any weight on it as he's carried towards the medical facility. That's a tough way to finish. But Wilson 22:22, Saravisos 22:48, Kozlov 22:87, and Greg Robbie's going to have to hope that maybe he's one of the fastest non-qualifiers.
As we see the hurdles coming out, so this is always an exciting time of any national championship as we see the tall hurdles come out.
There's the senior men's discus field. Nathaniel Salupo of Wellington, Alexander Parkinson of Auckland, as you've already heard Hayden allude to, someone who might be able to push Connor Bell, and Jared Neighbours, who is a very good, one of the crop of very good multi-eventers that the Canterbury region is producing.
Yeah, so we have the top three, the medalists from last year's senior competition, and joined by Jared Neighbours, the decathlete, multi-eventer.
Looks as though we've lost Nathaniel Salupo, which does happen at these sort of events, obviously.
Right, yes.
So that is a little bit of a shame.
But look for those two men in blue to go head-to-head in this competition.
Connor Bell is... We were talking about it a little bit earlier and just sort of got waylaid with some of the other competitions. We talk about the way that there was that pursuit of Zoe Hobbs of the Michelle Seymour mark. Well, Connor Bell is just slowly but steadily chipping away at that mark that was set by Ian Winchester. So, you know, we're always looking to see, love seeing national records broken. You kind of wonder, what could be one of the next national championships or national records to go up? I wonder whether it could be Connor Bell getting to that mark of Ian Winchester. You know he's going to get to it eventually.
Yeah.
You see Connor Bell.
Only, 75 centimetres to go. So that record has stood for 19 years of Ian Winchester, 65.03. And Connor Bell in January at this track through 64.29, which is the New Zealand resident record. So that's the furthest by a Kiwi in New Zealand.
So he will, I'm sure, be hopeful of trying to give that a good spot. Again, great vibes. He's back at a venue that he's had that success, so he'll be feeling pretty good as we see Caitlin Dorr get her silver medal from the senior women's para, and here comes Lisa Adams.
So confirmation, 97% of her own world record and personal best. Navigates her way to the top of the dais.
You see Lisa,
she's off.
she's got the Adams personality. She's got the phone. She needs the photo taken. Going to say, is Coach down there taking the photos for her? No. I'll have to have a chat with her coach, of course, the great Dame Valerie Adams.
So she, of course, inherits the Adams gene. So she stands 6'2", so she's a big girl, and certainly just keeps on improving with the shot. And so good to see. We haven't seen much of Lisa since she set that world record back in the spring of 2020. So I think she's only competed the once this summer since then. So good to see her back on top of the podium.
Of course. She has got remarkable talent, still so young, so much more growing and strength to be able to add in. Of course, she's getting some pretty darn good tutelage by a person who knows, and Dame Valerie Adams as well. And I'm sure I know it's something that Dame Val takes a bit of pride in. Now moving into the coaching ranks. And look, I'm sure there'll be other athletes who'll be going, well, gee, I wonder when she stops, if she chooses to stop. At the moment, why would you? But gee, I tell you what, she's got a career if she wants to carve it out in that particular niche too. There are our 3 athletes in the senior men's discus.
And I think, look, Dame Val is acting like more than a role model to these young throwers, the likes of Kaya Tupu South and Natalia Rankinchita. She is really a mentor to these young athletes coming through, and what a privilege it is for these young athletes to have a hero to compete alongside. I mean, it's sort of the equivalent of a distance runner being able to toe the line with a Peter Snell or a John Walker or nowadays Nick Willis.
Well, that's the thing, and what we see is there's just a wee break at the moment in the action here at the Jennian Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. What we do see, that's part of the reason why setting up for the hurdles events, is that these athletes are so encouraging of, hey, come train with me. Look at Tom Walsh and that wonderful little training group that he's got going, featuring the likes of Nick Palmer and Ryan Ballantyne, and he's had Jack O'Gill there as well, and obviously Dame Val now working underneath the tutelage of Dale Stevenson too. We talk about Coach McCall and the wonderful work he does with regards to the pole vault, but how good for the likes of Olivia McTaggart, Imogene Harris to be working alongside Eliza McCartney, a lot of the records that they are chasing right through age group and all the way up. How good for a Nick Southgate and an Etienne Dupre to be working alongside the likes of an Eliza McCartney as well. And you see that so much, and Nick Willis is exactly the same. I think, is it the Very Friendly Running Club? I think is a little organisation or group.
Very nice.
Very nice running club. The Very Nice Running Club. And you look at him, and we mentioned it yesterday as we see Alexander Parkinson getting ready for his first throw in the senior men's discus. You know, the great photo from, I think it was last year, where Nick Willis got beaten by Sam Tanner. Sam was 18, Nick was 36 at the time. A photo of Sam on Nick Willis's shoulder. Then the next week, Nick got the better of Sam. And of course, Sam being a good lad as well, the photo was Nick on top of Sam's shoulders. But it's that sort of involvement and want to pass on knowledge that is so great and so prevalent in New Zealand track and field as Parkinson gets the competition underway. That you see these athletes, and they are high quality, top level athletes, world class, but they genuinely want to give back, and they genuinely want young athletes to be able to learn some of the things that they took a while to learn. They want to be able to pass them on so they can upskill quicker. You just got to love that about the sport.
And you're right, and in athletics in New Zealand, it's so accessible. All these athletes keep themselves very accessible. You know, I've spent a little bit of time in the UK, and some of the greats in their sport, you know, the likes of Seb Coe, he's now sort of, you know, CEO of World Athletics, but often the stars are quite untouchable in those bigger bigger organisations, and so we're really blessed here in New Zealand to have that access to the stars, and you know, going for a Sunday morning jog after a competition with Nick Willis, or sharing the training pitch with Tom Walsh or Val Adams. It's something special about New Zealand athletics.
It's special about New Zealand, but I think you're right. New Zealand athletics do it as good as any other sport in the country. And just last year, when Nick Willis was competing in Hamilton, he put out a tweet saying, "Hey, I'm competing at this time. I'll be doing a warm down run afterwards. Why don't you come and see me? Come for a run with me." And Rob Waddell's son was there. He wasn't on social media. He wasn't aware of it. And Nick's doing a run around, and you could see the awe in this young man's eyes. We were like, you know, he's looking for people to go running with him. Shoes were off. And Rob Waddell's son was out there with him. So great shot of Nick Willis with Rob Waddell's son, barefooted son, running around, and just the grin on Waddell Jr.'s face was just brilliant. Just brilliant. Here he is, Connor Bell. Wonderful talent.
New Zealand resident record holder, hoping to become the outright record holder. Just moved up into the senior ranks, throw number 1, and it's a beauty.
That's a great throw. That'll be in and around the 60-metre mark, maybe just a hair under.
So once again, we've got the row of tennis balls marking the N line and the O line. So the N is the national record, and the O is the Olympic qualifier. So it shows how challenging it is to get an auto Olympic qualifier on the board. You're going to need to break the national record and then some. But that's a good opener out towards that 60-metre marker. That'll put him in the lead immediately ahead of Alexander Parkinson.
Well, Alexander actually had a no throw. He fouled off on his first one. So
yeah, I think it looked to me sort of high 40s, so potentially just saved them, the officials, a little bit of work.
So here we go. This is the under 20 100 metres hurdles final. Here we see some very talented athletes there, and again we get some of the eventers involved there. Ava Duggan will be in lane number 3. Sam McKinnon of Manawatu Wanganui in lane number 4. Maddie Wilson of Canterbury, who put in a shift for her province yesterday, and Angelina Zickert of Auckland. It's a nice, very nice throw as well by Alexander. That one there is deemed legal. 60.3 for Connor Bell to start. So 60.3 Connor Bell. And that'll be Alexander's first throw, and that one there will be in and around that 50-metre mark for the older of the two Auckland competitors. It's the big swig of water down as well. Oh, just the 3. We've lost Sam McKinder, unfortunately. So it's Duggan on the inside, Zickert on the outside, and the Cantabrian, Maddie Wilson, on the inside of them. At the moment it is Zickert leading them through now. Here comes Wilson starting to get about her work. This is a good race between the Aucklander and the Cantab. Wilson coming through, and Wilson's going to get the job done from Zickert and Duggan.
Now that's actually quite surprising to see Maddie Wilson come through. She's had a good weekend already in multiple events. I thought that Angela might have had the better of her. She got the better start, but it was just that leg speed in between each of the hurdles, enabling her to just inch her way up and past Angela. So that's a great run.
It's a great start to her day. So Maddie Wilson, again, for those who didn't see our coverage yesterday via Sky Sport Next, and so glad that you've joined us on Sky Sport Next, the YouTube channel. At one point, Maddie Wilson was competing in the javelin. She was then stepping across and throwing in the shot put. And right in the middle of that, she ran the second leg of a 4x100 metre relay race. Very talented multi-eventer. Earlier in the day, she had won bronze in the high jump as well.
Impressive. You can see that good start by Angela. And then Maddie Wilson just using that power and speed that she's got to just pull away.
Yeah, she had nice rhythm in between. 3 steps between the hurdles. And now we get the senior women's. And this is going to be some race. This will be an absolute cracker. Amy Robertson will start, you would suspect, as the favourite, as Connor Bell is back in the throwing circle. His first throw was 60.3, 60 metres, 30 centimetres. That there is out again. It'll be short of the 60-metre mark. There is a very slight breeze blowing into Connor today, and Jared and Alexander as well. So Amy Robertson, you would suspect, would probably start as the favourite, but gee, Fiona Morrison, you know, she's great at this particular discipline. Alessandra McDonald, again, another very good multi-eventer, heptathlete. Hiniwai Knowles is a emerging talent out of Waikato Bay of Plenty. And then you've got Zoe Taylor and Alexandra Highland, I should say, in the outside lanes. And, well, they're both capable athletes as well. This is a cracking wee field, hey?
Yeah, great field. And good to see Hiniwai stepping up to the senior ranks for this one, taking it to the big girls. So, yeah, as you say, Amy and Fiona are definitely the ones to watch in the middle, lanes 4 and lane 5. Fiona got the better of Amy last year in this competition, winning in a time of 13.62, which was almost half a second ahead of Amy Robertson. But so far, Amy has had a good season so far, with the best performance this year with a 13.58 ahead of Fiona's best of a 13.96. So do we see a reversal from last year's championship? Or can Fiona do a repeat of 2020?
Well, we're about to find out because they are all set. So it's Taylor in 2, Knowles 3, Robinson 4, Morrison 5, McDonald 6, Highland 7. Good even start as they hit the first flight.
Oh, Amy Robinson looking good. She got the better of the start. She's first over the first hurdle. Amy Robinson now pulling away. Here she goes. One more hurdle to go and she'll be your national champion. Oh, Hanaway Knowles, did she pull through for second place? It was very close.
As we check out the time as it comes through as well, but that's a great performance by Amy Robertson. 13.66. Fiona Morrison, 14.2. That is dominant from Amy Robinson. She has delivered beautifully.
Very clean over the hurdles. Beautiful technique. Of course, you are allowed to hit the hurdles, but when you're hitting them, it's a sign that you're just not getting that rhythm right, and you're just maybe a little bit off your game. But Amy was on fire this morning. She hit that first hurdle just slightly ahead of the others, and that really meant the others were having to do some catch-up.
It is a wonderful performance and a national championship for Amy Robertson. And deserved, because she really has been a standout in this particular event right throughout the track and field summer. There's another standout, and Connor Bell.
So with a 60.30 for that first throw, opening it up, 56.89 for his second. Now into his third. He's safely in first place with a good, almost 6 metre lead over Alexander Parkinson's best of 54.61 in round 3. But here he goes, Connor Bell. He likes throwing the discus here. He set the resident record on this turf, throwing into a gentle nor'easter. This is looking good too.
It's a great throw. It's a really good throw. Again, though, just holding up a little bit, so that'll be just short of that 60-metre mark. Great speed across the throwing circle. And I think that the thing we've got to remember again is still such a very young man, and again, we reference it a lot when it comes to track and field. The fact that, you know, there are athletes, they've still got to grow into their body a little bit. I guess like a lot of sports where maybe the older and the stronger you get, the better you will become. And Connor, you just think is going to be one of those athletes who, if he keeps on the trajectory that he's on, Hayden, he's already on his way to being world class. You could suspect he could be world class for a while to come. And again, be one of those athletes that maybe people will look at and go, you know what, that's someone who I want to be in and around, because another very likeable human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely a name to write down. And look, he may pull up Alexander Parkinson with him. It'll be very interesting to track both of their progress, because Alexander, he's only 26, and in a sport like discus, you've still got a good few years ahead of you, even if you're in your mid-20s. Adding that power and also refining that technique over the years.
So here is the field for the under-20 110-metre hurdles for men. It's just an update with where we're at with regards to the discus. So there you see Connor Bell, 60.30. So they will now reverse the throwing order. It'll be based on smallest distance to highest. So there are some of our competitors. There you see Jared Neighbours out of Canterbury. Again, another one of the multi-eventers, decathlete. Some wonderful talent there. He walks out, didn't like that, so that'll just get a red flag. Had a busy old day yesterday. You see Tremaine Redmond-Gardner having done the high jump. Now he heads over to the hurdles. Alongside him, Cameron Moffat of Otago. Joshua Woodhead and Max Te Aroa, the other gentlemen in this particular field. There you are. They'll be operating in lanes 3 through 6 at this wonderful venue. Great facility, the Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park.
So Cameron Moffat wearing number 358. He's New Zealand Secondary Schools champ, the 110 hurdles and the 400 hurdles. He won the 400 hurdles under 20s yesterday and picked up the bronze in the long jump. So he's having a good old weekend. So he's certainly the favourite. He was your under 18 champ last year, ahead of Tremaine Redmond-Gardner by only 0.18 of a second.
Here is Parkinson. Ooh, he's got that out. Gee, that's a really good throw by Alexander Parkinson.
That'll get him into at least the mid-50s, maybe the high 50s. So a good challenge now for Connor Bell in round 4.
His previous best throw, Alexander, was his third round throw of 54.61. So after a foul to begin, he's followed it up with 53.99, 54.61, and there I'd suspect probably might be north of 56, 57 possibly. As we wait for that information to come through, an update on our screen. 57.02, 57 metres, 2 centimetres for Alexander Parkinson. So just adding on distance every time he steps into the circle. There is Connor Bell.
Yeah, 57.02.
So Connor leads at the moment with 60.3. So a good series of throws so far. This one coming down the centre of the arc, and that one there will be a little short. You can see a bit of frustration there.
Yeah, I think it may be just struggling with the flight of that discus. You can see it opening up the face of the discus to the wind, and which will obviously just restrict its ability to fly further. Increase that air friction on the discus.
So it'll be another throw well over 50 metres. So he opened with 60.3, followed it up with 56 metres 89, and then 57.92. But that's the shortest of his throws so far, 55 metres 82 centimetres. Still has 2 more attempts. As Jared Neighbours heads into the throwing circle as we continue to wait a start in the under-20s 110 metres hurdle for men. Neighbours gets that out. That's a good throw by Jared. His best so far has been 42 metres 74. That might give that one a wee bit of a nudge. Be in and around. Next to it, there on the left of your screen, that there is Joshua Woodhead, Tremaine Redmond-Gardner, 172, and then Cameron Moffat of Otago.
Can he do the double, the hurdles double? He's claimed the 400 hurdles. Can he add to that the 110 hurdles?
Some real focus and intensity, each in their different way. Max just looking very calm and focused. Continue to wait. 41.69, by the way, for Jared Neighbours. So now all is in readiness. So it's Moffat in 3, Redmond-Gardner 4, Woodhead 5. Te Roa is in lane number 6. Under 20s, 110 metres hurdles final. Away. Nice start, Moffat on the inside. Te Rua as well. Good work as well by Redmond-Gardner. Now Moffat starting to get about his work, but it's down to those inside lanes. Te Rua going hard on. Redmond-Gardner clattering that one. That's given Moffat the chance.
Wow.
And he comes through.
Well, that was a race of multiple chapters. On the outside, Te Rua got the start, and I thought, wow, maybe he's been really working on that hurdle technique. But you can see here just a little clatter from Tremaine Redmond-Gardner, and that opened up things for Cameron Moffat to take the double. He'll go home as the 400 hurdles champ and the 110 hurdles champ for the under-20s. 1.9 metre second tailwind, so perfect wins.
Here is Parkinson with his 5th throw. He's pushed that one out quite nicely again. That'll be around that mid-50 mark. Looks a little frustrated. The big bearded Aucklander. So Connor Bell to step in for his penultimate throw in this competition. He currently leads at the moment by 3 metres. Alexander Parkinson's last throw was 57 metres and 2 centimetres. Connor's best so far, 60.3. So just waiting for that marker to be put down. It's 53.86. We'll see that number when it gets turned around. There we are, 53.86 for Alexander Parkinson. And Connor Bell now is saying, come on, can I get a bit of help here, please? Give me something to work with. Right, second to last throw. That one there. And again, you see what Hayden was alluding to, just catching it. Comes down on its edge. Again, it's that breeze which is just holding it up. And there's one reason why we were just looking at the number that's popped up on our screen, plus 1.9 metres per second at the back of the hurdlers, which is perfect for them. Can't exceed 2 metres in terms of for records to be classed as legal. But that's also the same breeze that we are seeing Connor, Jared and Alexander throwing into. And as you alluded to, Hayden, it's just holding things up just a wee bit. 56.02 for Connor Bell, who has one last throw. We've got these senior men's hurdles not too far away. Nick Bolton, Justin Menzies, Joshua Hawkins, James Sandilands, Tom Maloney, Jared Neighbours.
He's going to have to sprint across.
Who is going to do that? He's delivered that. He will walk out and then he'll make his way down to the far end of the Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park to take up position in lane number 8 alongside another very good decathlete in Max Atwell.
Yeah, they're busy boys, these decathletes, so he'll have to go and set up his blocks ready for the 110 senior men's hurdles, and this is set to be a cracker. We saw last year all sorts of dramas with the hot favourite and 2019 champ Joshua Hawkins not having a good day at the office, and it was James Sandilands who took that title last year, with Jared Neighbours actually picking up 3rd. So be interesting to see how things unfold in this competition, whether Joshua can get a nice clean start. He was DQ'd with a false start at the Sir Graham Douglas 4 weeks ago, so he'll want to make sure he finishes this season on a high. He's definitely the hot talent, about 0.5 seconds faster than anyone else in this field so far this season.
Here is Parkinson. That's a great throw, but it's fouled. He lost balance, went out over the front of the circle, and he's frustrated because that's a really significant throw. It's right on the edge of 60.
That could well have put him into the lead.
Well,
but it doesn't count if you step over the mark, if you foul it out.
That's what he's done.
That's going to leave him in 2nd place and serve up on a platter the national title to Connor Bell.
But a nice little reminder for Connor that, you know, if Alexander gets it right, he's not going to have it all his own way. I wonder if this just might spur Connor a little bit in his final throw.
Oh, he had good speed with that one. It's coming out well to the left.
It has.
It's good. It looks really good. Certainly, it looks to me from the naked eye the best of his throws this morning, opening up with that 60.3. And he's been hitting the high 50s since then, but that looked like it was as far as the 60-metre marker, if not further.
It's hard as we try and get that particular angle, try and work out the arc. So 60.3 is what he's opened with. He's finished with 61.85 for the national champion of the men's discus. That is Connor Bell of Auckland. Strong finish. It's a nice throw. You can see he's a little bit... He's happy with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, good to finish on a positive note after sort of, just struggling with the flight of the discus in the middle stages of the competition. So remember that name, Connor Bell, and also remember the name Alexander Parkinson, because like you said, Nigel, with that final throw, he's shown we need to keep an eye out for him in the next season, and he'll go into his winter, put in that groundwork, and I'm sure he will be hungry to set about his campaign over the next 12 months to reclaim that national title.
Would have been interesting to see just if they put the measurements on it anyway, just out of curiosity. So we are now getting ready for the hurdles. The men's 110. And as we say, Nick Bolton will be in lane number 1. Justin Menzies out of Auckland in lane number 2. Josh Hawkins, who Hayden was discussing earlier, in lane number 3. Getting DQ'd at the Sir Graham Douglas. Someone just there doing some of the high knees in bib number 131. James Sandlands of Canterbury in lane number 4. Tom Maloney of Auckland. Long hair there, bib number 155. In lane number 5. Jared Neighbours, who's made his way around, having claimed bronze in the senior men's discus. And he will see if he can maybe go a couple better than what he did last year in the national championships when he claimed bronze in this event. And Max Atwell, New Zealand decathlon champion. He will start in lane number 7. And for those wondering why these multi-eventers, why isn't there a decathlon at the national championships? Well, they do that on a separate event, the New Zealand Combined Events Championship, which takes place as they spread the national championships around. There goes Neighbours. I have to admit, Hayden, it is something that I did always wonder. I always wondered if it would be nice just to have the decathlon and the heptathlon going at an event like this. But obviously, there's a lot of things that you have to think about. It's so much different, a track and field event over the course of 2, even 3 days, compared to what I guess a lot of people get their track and field fix on, which is the likes of an Olympics or a Commonwealth Games, where an Olympic track and field program is spread out over the course of 8 to 10. So very different in that regard. You see James Sandlands just walking up to the hurdle, now just walking back as everyone goes through their different processes to get themselves set. Max Atwell just standing there. He's quite calm and relaxed. He's been there, done that, seen this all before. Yes, so this is a Canterbury-Auckland battle.
It really is, the blue versus the red. And Josh Hawkins is the one that we need to keep an eye out. Just going through his knee raises there, 131. He's the New Zealand record holder with that 13.69 set 6 years ago. University Games representative, 6 times national senior champ, but really struggled 4 weeks ago with that false start, and I would love to see him put on a good performance here and see if he can reclaim that national title, but also set a good fast time to finish off his season. Of course, the hurdles are just one of those events where one small mistake and it all can go horribly wrong.
The other thing, though, is all it takes is that one day and things can look absolutely spectacular as well. So,
if anyone's seen that video of Grant Holloway, the American, beating the indoor 60-metre hurdles world record, it is just poetry in motion when these athletes get it right. And it just looks like clockwork, going just millimetres over the hurdles each time. The body awareness and the awareness of every single stride is accounted for. They know exactly what their body needs to do.
Lots of blue, lots of red. That there is Tom Maloney. He runs out of lane number 5 for Auckland. There's the breeze picking up ever so slightly behind him.
And this battle for second place is going to be an interesting one, assuming Josh can get over cleanly. All these guys are lining up.
Well, you're contradicting yourself because, as you've pointed out, it's the one thing you cannot make the assumption in.
Absolutely.
So on that inside lane, Bolton for Canterbury. Then it's Menzies and Hawkins for Auckland in lanes 2 and 3. Sandlands in lane number 4. Sandlands, for Canterbury in 4. Maloney for Auckland in 5. Neighbours and Atwell, Canterbury lanes 6 and 7. So 3 Aucklanders, 4 Cantabs.
James Sandilands, the reigning national champ. That was a big surprise last year with Josh struggling home in 4th place. Could James retain his national title?
There is Joshua Hawkins, national record holder, New Zealand residence holder as well. The mark that he set for the record was in Brisbane. It was
29th of March. That sounds about right. Sounds like a little trip over to Australia to carry on his domestic season.
See Nick Bolton, senior member of the field. Don't be fooled by the grey hairs, though.
It's a good long wait for these boys. If they're nervous, the
well,
starters are making them.
You mentioned before about the false starts for Josh Hawkins. This would be the last thing that he would want. He wouldn't want this degree of waiting.
Yeah. Yes, they just settle and get everything sorted. But it is one of the things you need to do as any sort of sprinter, hurdler. You need to get used to the start procedures and having that, just the ability to calm the nerves.
So let's run through that field one more time. Bolton lane 1, Menzies 2, Hawkins 3, Sandilands 4, Maloney 5, Neighbours 6, Atwell 7. Starters' hands. Away. Great start by Hawkins. He's timed that really well. And it is Josh Hawkins who is pulling away. This is what we mean. When you hurdle well, it looks beautiful. Hawkins going great guns. Oh, little stumble, though, to the line.
Wow.
Gee, they are clattering. They were falling like dominoes behind him. He was flawless through those first 8 flights, Joshua Hawkins.
Absolutely. Tom Maloney looked like he pulled through for second over Sandilands. 14.16 for Josh Hawkins, and confirmed Tom Maloney 15.27, which is almost a PB for Tom. James Sandilands will have to settle for bronze after his gold last year. But man, some dramas throughout this race. But look at the start.
This was flawless by Hawkins, and it just flowed on. Look at that. He's already got almost a half step on them, and he's in beautiful rhythm. That's a great shot.
You can see the start there, quite different from a flat 100-metre starter where you'd shorten the strides. Has to take slightly longer strides to make sure he's nice and even in his approach to that first hurdle. Now, this is where things started to just go a little bit awry. This one clips it and then safely, but hits it with his leading foot.
Well, here's the thing. When he cleared that third to last flight, I thought we were on for a New Zealand record. Wind behind him, though, 2.5 would have scratched it. He's run 14.16. So you think if he didn't clatter those last 2, well, who knows what he could have been on for. Well, that concludes our coverage from this morning session. A great finish there. Congratulations, Joshua Hawkins, in reclaiming his 110 metres hurdles. Still plenty of great track and field action as the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championship will continue. We'll take a short break. Join us again later this afternoon here on Sky Sport Next.
Jennian Homes have been proudly building the homes New Zealanders love for over 35 years and encouraging youth to achieve their hopes and dreams. Jennian Homes is proud to partner with the New Zealand Olympic Games team.
Aon has been helping Kiwis strive for sporting success for over 20 years. As New Zealand's leading insurance broker, we can also support you when it comes to your insurance. Expert advice and local service. Talk to your local Aon insurance broker today.
We know a country where the skies are big because the horizons are wide, so the warm, gentle landscape stretches out forever. This country is food and wine country, but you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.